Welcome to part one of this 4-part course on customer discovery. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how you create a customer profile that helps you find people. And I'm gonna do that using LinkedIn, right? So if you're not in B2B, this might not be the best source to find people. Or if you're in a more traditional industry, these people might not be on LinkedIn. But for almost all B2B purposes that I know, LinkedIn does really well. So I'm going to run through a hypothetical case of an idea. So say you're seeing that small businesses have labor shortages, right? And you think you have a good solution to find young talent for them, right? So what you want to do is narrow down the profile of who would be exactly your customer, right? So we're going to jump right into LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can get a free trial for 1 month. Afterwards, you pay $100. So 1 month is totally okay. Take the free trial, put a reminder in your calendar so you don't get charged $100 in the second month. The only thing that I use on LinkedIn Sales Navigator is the search tool, and this gives it its power. Right, so we're going to go here in the search bar, and we're going to go on lead filters. So here we see a bunch of really nice options that allow us to search for people. So fast forward a bit, I narrowed down the profile a bit based on what I said before. I'm going to assume I read an article online that the labor shortage is highest in the manufacturing industry. So I find a bunch of industries that come close to where I think there's a labor shortage. We're going to limit it to the United States since labor is kind of a very regulated market, so you have to go more regional there. Also set small businesses, which I define broadly from 10 to 1,000 employees. And I'm also limited to the function of human resources since they are the ones that are hiring people. There's loads of other things to play with, loads of things you can do to narrow it down further. Importantly, you don't want to narrow it down too far initially, right? So make sure you at least have like 15K results or something. So you don't artificially limit yourself to a too small niche, right? So you get a bit of a broader view. Something that I like doing is I look at, do I have common connections? So here, first degree connections are people I'm connected to on LinkedIn. I don't have any. That's not a problem. But if I had them, these would be the first people I'd talk to. Since I have trust capital with them, they're more willing to talk to me. But let's look for second degree connections. So I have a bunch of second degree connections, right? So these would be the first ones I reach out to, since when I send a contact request to them, they see we have a shared connection. If it's a good shared connection, if a good friend or something, then I would maybe ask them for an intro, right? Because this is more likely to get me the conversation with the person. So, and it would work basically in layers of the onions from first degree connections to second to third. Start with second degree connections if you don't have any first degree connections. Don't go to 3 right away, right? Reason is simply the chances are higher, and initially you're not looking for that many people. But once you're through all of your second degree connections, then you go to the third degree connections. And that's basically it for now, right? So save your search here, just so you find it later. Let's call it manufacturing HR. And this is your initial list of leads. And this is not set in stone. You'll iterate a bit with it. Maybe you discover, hey, manufacturing is kind of harder to talk to. They say they don't have the problems, so you go to a different industry. Maybe you switch from small companies to big ones. And as I mentioned, you should switch to third degree connections here. Just make sure you make a couple of notes somewhere so you have a clear view of how sort of your customer profile is changing, right? So the LinkedIn categories don't fully map, of course, what is required for a customer profile, but it's just a fast and efficient way to get started having conversations with the right kind of people. Thanks for watching. In the second video, I'm going to go to outreach, right? So these people that we have here, we're going to reach out to them and say hello and, hey, talk to me, please.